Hi everybody, I'm Akshay and in my essay I'll be writing for the topic that linguistic diversity is essential for preserving traditional culture. Culture can be generally defined as a way of living that a group of human beings have developed and have passed down from generation to generation. Culture determines how a person views the world and behaves in it, and language is closely related to culture as it is a mode of communication for communicating their values and customs. Now, throughout the history, there have been many cases of one group of people trying to suppress the existence of another group by forbidding them to speak their language. So, as languages that were used by the minority groups became extinct, their cultures also became extinct as they were forced to follow the cultures and speak the language of the majority. Example, the region of Alsace and Lorraine in France have been under German and French influence plenty of times. When the Germans annexed the region, they considered the French traditions very unpatriotic and suppressed their traditional practices and the use of French violently, thereby making the society of the region less linguistically diverse. We can see here that by making the society less linguistically diverse, the natives lost their identity and hence their cultures as they were forced to speak the language of the invaders. The second reason why I think that society should be linguistically diverse and it can help in preservation of traditional culture is because that some of the cultures, especially oral cultures and traditions, are strongly dependent on the native language for their survival in the world, and sometimes they cannot be translated into other languages. So, if these languages were to be lost, then there would be no ways of passing on the culture and traditions from one generation to another. Example, the language of Tuvan, which is a language spoken in small region in Eastern Europe. Some words and sometimes entire folk songs and stories in this language cannot be translated into English or the other languages. Only the natives understand what it truly means. Thus, some parts of their culture is already orally passed on from generation to generation. If this language were to be lost, then there would be no way of preserving this unique culture and it would be lost forever. Hence, being linguistically diverse also helps in preserving traditional culture, especially oral culture. The third reason is because that there are some languages in the world that don't have a script of its own. The language can only be taught by word of mouth, but the history of these languages has been preserved in written form with the help of other languages. This is possible only if there is a linguistic diversity in society. Example, Konkani in India is a language that does not have its own script. The knowledge of the language is only passed by word of mouth. There have been Konkani songs and folk songs and stories documented in scripts of other languages in the region, such as Kannada and Devanagiri. Therefore, the history of the language and its culture have been documented using other languages present in the region. Therefore, the presence of a linguistic diverse society has helped this language to survive a longer time than it was expected to survive, and hence the cultures and traditions of its speakers have also been preserved. Um, Finally, I would like to conclude that when a society is linguistically diverse, its people are exposed to different cultures. The people learn to respect the cultures of other groups and not to offend them. This respect enables people of different cultures to live in harmony and preserve each other's cultures. A good example of this is India, where Islam, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Christianity flourish all under one roof. We find Muslims celebrating Diwali, a festival of the Hindus, and Hindus celebrating Christmas, a festival of Christian origin. Therefore, different groups of people speaking different languages have respected each other's cultures and helped preserve it. Um, so, all in all, when a culture loses the language in which it's infused in, the probability of the culture disappearing from the face of the earth is very high. Thank you.